Now at 5:30, a Christmas morning fire forces several people out of some apartments in Lexington. Crews are assessing the damage caused by two rare tornadoes in Northern California as the death toll from the storms in the south rises. And Janet Jackson will not be coming to Rupp Arena next month. Why she's postponing her tour.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning and Merry Christmas to you. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sean Moody. It feels more like springtime outside than Christmas time, though. Let's check in with Mike Linden over in the First Alert Weather Center. What's in store today, Mike?
A lot of rain in short, Sean. We are looking at the return of the heavy rain and the storms right now working their way in from the west. A pretty ugly look this morning on the Defender radar network as we're tracking the yellows, the reds, oranges, meaning that that's showing our radar that we are looking at a lot of rainfall just to our west. A lot of lightning within it as well, as Chris Bailey likes to say, LOL, a lot of lightning working our way in from the west. And for that reason, a flood watch is in effect for southern and southeastern Kentucky, for any of the counties here colored in by the green color. That's southern and southeastern Kentucky until Saturday morning. That is going to be the theme of the forecast today and for the next several days. Heavy rain and storms, which could yield even more high water issues. I'll take you through your Christmas day and into the weekend coming up.
Mike, thank you. Several Lexington families were forced out of their homes early this Christmas morning. That's because there was a fire inside their apartment complex. WKYT's Mike Byer is live on Cambridge Drive to explain what happened. Good morning, Mike.
That's right, Sean. Those families have now been given the okay to return to their apartments after, as you mentioned, they were forced to evacuate early this morning because of a fire here at their apartment complex. The fire started just after 2 a.m. at the Cambridge Place apartments here in the 2000 block of Cambridge Drive on Lexington's west side. When first responders arrived on scene, they located flames coming out of a first-floor apartment unit. Firefighters say the fire started because of a furnace. As a result, the unit where the fire started and the one directly above it received significant damages. The two families living in the units, as well as dozens of others, were forced to evacuate their apartments while firefighters attempted to put out the flames, which they say they were able to put out rather quickly. Meanwhile, firefighters tell us the apartment units had working smoking alarms, which they say is a big reason no one was hurt. Now, as we mentioned, several of those families were forced to evacuate. They are all back in their home. Columbia Gas remains on scene, getting the gas situation back intact, as those families are now back safely in their apartments. Meanwhile, property owners are taking care of the two families whose apartments were affected by the fire. For now, live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Mike, thank you. New on WKYT this morning, state police are looking for the driver involved in a deadly hit and run. The Christmas Eve crash happened in Wolfe County on Kentucky 191. Kentucky State Police say 32-year-old Jamie Robinson of Campton was hit and killed. They have not released any details at all about the driver responsible. Sad news from Floyd County on this Christmas morning. 4 people there were killed in a fiery crash. It happened last night on Highway 114 near Prestonsburg Elementary School. Investigators said a 5th person was taken to the hospital, but we don't know that person's condition this morning. Police say one of the cars caught fire in that crash. They've not released the names of any of the people involved. Also new this morning, at least 7 people were taken to the hospital after a 5-car crash in Lawrence County. Emergency management shared these pictures of the scene on US 23. Investigators say the crash could have been much worse, though. You can see that thick fog that was in the area at the time. There's no word right now on the seriousness of those injuries. Firefighters likely saved a man's life by rescuing him from his burning home yesterday. Last night's fire was on Heritage Drive, just north of downtown Nicholasville. We're told a newly recruited firefighter ran up to the 2nd floor of that house and rescued the man who was unconscious.
They dragged him out of there.
They laid him on the ground and they're trying to revive him until the paramedics got here, but then the house started just rolling in smoke.
Victim was taken to UK hospital. He was the only person inside the home at the time. 3 other people live there, but they're in Texas. Firefighters are still trying to figure out exactly what caused the fire, but they do say they think it was an accident. A Woodford County man is asking for help finding 3 missing horses. Burl Hubbock says the horses disappeared from his property sometime on Sunday. He says a 32-year-old mare is among the missing horses. He says he thinks they were stolen.
They didn't come to my whistle or the grain shaking, so if they don't come to that, they're missing.
Hubbock says that mare has an Arabic tattoo under her mane. Versailles police are investigating. North Carolina authorities say an off-duty officer at a crowded mall shot and killed a man who pointed a gun at him following a shooting. Police in Charlotte say a long-standing dispute between people who knew one another sparked the shooting that sent shoppers ducking for cover. Police say no one else was hit and there were no other reports of injuries. Crews with the National Weather Service are heading to Northern California today to look at the strength of two rare tornadoes that touched down on Christmas Eve. The unusual holiday time weather pattern triggered deadly tornadoes in the south earlier this week, blamed for at least 14 deaths in 3 states. Don Champion has the latest.
On this holiday of giving, some people in Northern California are taking stock of what's lost after an outbreak of tornadoes.
Seeing trees swirling like a blender, it was like they're in a blender, it was pretty scary.
Oh my gosh.
Cell phone video captured the twisters roaring through El Dorado County and Modesto, bringing down power lines and uprooting trees.
We've been here for 45 years. And we've never had anything like this before happen.
Mike Churchill saw a tree crash down on his neighbor's car. A child was inside.
The kid said, "Hey, Mom, stop," and it hit the back and just barely hit the car at the back end of the SUV.
The rare tornadoes in California come as people in the Midwest and South continue cleaning up after an outbreak of deadly tornadoes there this week. Pastor Barry Reynolds, whose church was among hundreds of structures destroyed in Mississippi, called it a test from God.
He testing our faith, just seeing how strong we're going to be.
At this Red Cross shelter in Holly Springs, donations of food, clothing, and even Christmas gifts have poured in.
I've just not seen this kind of generosity in a single county anywhere I've worked.
Neighbors determined to keep the giving spirit alive in the face of so much loss. Don Champion, CBS News.
Another bizarre storm developing in the southern plains is forecast to bring heavy rain and blizzard conditions to the region this weekend, and the first snow of the season to the unseasonably warm northeast next week. Janet Jackson is postponing her tour, which includes a stop here in Lexington. The singer says she's having a surgical procedure, but didn't explain exactly what that would be. On her website, she announced that all future Unbreakable tour dates have been postponed until the spring. No new dates have been announced just yet. She was scheduled to perform at Rupp Arena on January 30th. Bristol Palin is a mother for the second time. Palin, who launched an abstinence campaign after giving birth as an unwed teenager, posted on Instagram that on Christmas Eve that she gave birth to a girl, Sailor Grace, on Wednesday. Bristol is the daughter of 2008 Republican vice presidential nominee Sarah Palin. She has not publicly identified the child's father, but announced she was pregnant shortly after her engagement to Medal of Honor recipient and Kentuckian Dakota Meyer after that engagement was broken off last spring. Yesterday, Meyer tweeted this picture saying, quote, "Best Christmas present ever." Dozens of volunteers are expected to be at the Salvation Army of Lexington today for the annual Christmas Day dinner. That'll be, the volunteers will help serve food and drinks from noon to 1:30, and they say the meal is a great way to give back to the community.
You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Sounds like Christmas in downtown Lexington. It's an annual tradition. Each holiday season, Dr. Everett McCorvey and the UK Opera Theatre put on the all-tech Celebration of Song. This year it was held at the Square in downtown Lexington. You can watch an encore presentation today at noon right here on WKYT. Time to check out your live drive traffic on this Christmas morning. Let's take a look and see how things are going out there. It is Christmas morning, so not a lot of traffic out there. Looks like green pretty much everywhere across the map. If you are heading out to visit family today, it looks like you should have a pretty smooth trip wherever you are heading. 5:39 on your Christmas morning, and there is still a whole lot more to come this morning. It was one of the most talked about controversies of the year. Seriously, what color is that dress? Coming up, a look at 2015's most viral stories.
It's white and gold, Sean. Anyway, a look at your weather. We got a whole lot to talk about because there's a whole lot heading our way. More rain and storms are on the way for central Kentucky. I'll break it down coming up.